Monday, 23rd, PM, Friday, Tuesday, 26th.
SBS should get their act together.
I'm very disappointed.
We all appreciate you very much.
And I'd really like to say thank you to
Very much.
Thank you.
Welcome to this week's Hotline. Well, tonight we look at your comments on programs that we've been showing on SBS in the last week or so, with some very differing opinions, as you'll see. But of course, the big show of the moment is the Tour de France, and whether you're a cyclist or not, what could be better than looking at the French countryside in the summer without leaving your favourite chair?
As a cyclist, I appreciate the Tour de France coverage so much. When it's winter in Melbourne, watching the Tour is so inspiring. Your coverage is televised at a fantastic time and the commentary is spot on.
Congratulations on a brilliant job. Without SBS, we would be nowhere in the coverage of professional cycling, and I thank you.
I've been waiting for this live stage of Tour de France for weeks now, and what happens? When the cyclists are battling it out in the climb to Col du Galibier, all you show is studio chatting. Far out.
When we got to the actual live coverage, it was outstanding and the best I've ever seen. But please cut back on that frustrating lead-up of commentators' comments.
When the Tour de France is screened each evening, could we see, or at least hear where it's going to be next day, or even see a little map so we can be all ready with our atlas and Michelin?
The cycling thing, the Tour de France, for 1 day and 2 days it's okay, but you know, for so many days to have the same thing going on, we don't like it. The normal programming is all right, the Global Village.
Well, the Global Village will be back at 6 o'clock each weeknight when the Tour de France finishes next Tuesday. But until then, well, we think Le Tour is worth keeping track of every day that it's on, as well as our live coverage of the final stage on Sunday, the 27th of July at 9:30 p.m. Now, our daily reports feature maps of where the cyclists are at each stage of the race, but you can also log on to our website where you can see maps of all stages of the event.
I enjoyed this movie very much and had great empathy for the characters, which is quite unusual for me. I do not know much about Finland, but thought the Finnishness was also quite charming. You could see how Finland is slightly different from Norway or Sweden.
I wish to view a certain film and ask your company to broadcast it. The film is titled Happy Together. If you're not intending to screen it, may I, as a customer and avid viewer, ask you to preview this film in the near future?
Well, sorry to say that we've shown Happy Together 3 times already on SBS, but if you're a fan of the films of director Wong Kar-wai, you'll be glad to know his follow-up movie, In the Mood for Love, will go to air sometime next April or May. Worth waiting for. For some viewers who missed this next documentary on its first showing in April, tuned in and called in when we repeated it last Monday.
I'm a big fan of the Lee genre of films, and it was really impressive, and it was good to see the episodes of the movie that weren't originally included.
The documentary itself was a bit bland in the US style, and Lee's final film, The Game of Death, was typically overrated. However, this program had the good sense to give Lee time and space to air his philosophies, which were quite profound.
Just inquiring about the Bruce Lee special and several other things with the size of the screen on them. I guess it's because of all this digital rubbish, but look, that's like looking through a keyhole. I mean, I don't find that entertaining at all.
Well, it's not so much digital rubbish, but rather the letterbox format that this documentary was shown in. And like most films and many documentaries that we show in letterbox, it allows you to see the whole widescreen picture instead of cropping it down to fit the box. Well, time's almost up for this week's show, but we'll go out with some differing views on last week's cutting-edge documentary, Modern Meat. Until next week, good night.
Each year, an estimated 1 in 4 Americans suffers an important bout of food poisoning, at least a third attributed to contaminated meat.
I work in a food processing plant which also makes hamburgers, and it would be beneficial to show new staff members portions of this video.
I've just noticed that tonight there's a program saying that hamburgers have become the #1 choice of the first world as food. Being 65 years old and having eaten, I think, 3 hamburgers in my life, I wonder, does that mean that I'm of the last world or what?